Okay, so we're ready to add to this. I'm going to lock the seed layer, and I'm going to make a new layer and name it stem. I want it to grow from the seed, so it needs to be behind the seed. So I'm going to drag this layer underneath like that. All right, I don't want it to start growing right away. So at about frame 15, I'm going to right click and say insert blank keyframe. And again, I'm going to use the paintbrush. Make sure object drawing mode is off. So that I can see through this, there's a see-through mode here. If I click this color rectangle in the layers panel, it just kind of shows you what is on that layer, so I can see underneath it when I draw my stem. Draw the way it's going to look after it's fully grown, okay? All right. And paint bucket. I turn off see-through mode because I want to sample that green. All right. So that's the way it's going to look after it's fully grown, okay? I'm going to add about a second. We're on frame 15 plus 12 is 27. So go to frame 27 and right click, insert keyframe, because that's how it's going to end, right? Go back to keyframe 15 and select the free transform tool. It is the second tool. And I am going to just squash it down. And it needs to be down here. Zoom in so I can click on this guy. All right. So we're going to turn it into a tween. So right click any of the frames in between those keyframes and say create. So I'm going to go to the beginning. And that's what it does. Okay? Now I need to do the flower part. I'm going to lock the stem and make the flower. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could do it with the oval tool if you'd like, which I think I will. Again, make sure object drawing mode is off. Like purple. remember, these are going to kind of stick. I'm going to hold down Alt, click and drag to make another one. Use the tools to your advantage. Actually, watch this. So now when I rotate it, it does that. That's much more handy. Oh, goodness. This is looking like a big blob, but that's okay. Oh boy. And I want to redo that. Doing this on the fly, guys. All right. Now, this obviously isn't going to start at the beginning, so I need to move this keyframe, right? So I'm going to click it once to select it, click it again, and drag it down. So it's going to start, let's give it a couple frames before it starts to, so we're at 32. Again, we'll stick with the 1 second thing, and I'm going to right click, insert keyframe. Okay, now go back to your first keyframe, free transform, and let's say I'm going to lock in my properties panel. I'm going to lock the width and height values together, and I'm just going to put 0. Maybe I should put 1. I'm using the arrow keys to move it because I would have to zoom in something kind of crazy. Okay, it looks like I have to. If you can find a more efficient way to do this, feel free. All right, so it's in place. Right click, create shape tween. Last thing we're going to do is add a leaf to the side. So I'm going to zoom in. We're going to add another component, leaf. Again, the leaf is going to come after, so I'm going to go ahead and say insert blank keyframe. Make sure my settings are the same. Paint bucket. Alright, so I'm on frame 44, frame 56. Right click, insert keyframe, go back to the first one and scale it. Actually, here, let's move this anchor point and now it'll scale. I should have done that with the flower. Alright, create shape tween. I think I want that underneath the stem. And save your work, Control S. And to test it, to see what the final animation looks like, go Control Enter. And that's what we got. Time to export. So File, Export, Export Video Media, Entire Movie, Format. Make sure you do Start Media Encoder. I'm going to change my save location. I have a backdrop folder. Flower. And export.